You drive for miles through the desert out here. Flat, open ground, almost nothing to break the horizon. And then, slowly, they start to appear. At first, just shapes in the distance. And then, something much stranger. These formations rising out of the earth as if they don't quite belong here. I've been here more than once, and it still feels a little unreal every time. Hi friends, Anne McKinnell here, and this is Trona Pinnacles in California, one of our favorite places to camp in the California desert. Managed as public land by the Bureau of Land Management, camping here is free, and you can set up almost anywhere among the formations. There are few basic facilities, including vault toilets, but otherwise it's very much a bring-your-own-everything kind of place. What you're looking at are tufa formations, columns of calcium carbonate. But what's hard to imagine is that all of this was once underwater. Thousands of years ago, this area was covered by an ancient lake, and these formations built up beneath the surface, layer by layer. When the water eventually disappeared, they were left behind, exposed in the open desert. The story doesn't end with the lake. As it evaporated, it left behind a concentration of minerals, boron, borax, elements that would eventually be mined and used in everything from glass to detergents. So this landscape is both geological and industrial, shaped first by water and then by what was left behind when the water disappeared. It's a place where natural history and human use overlap, and you can still feel both. But what stands out most isn't the science. It's the silence. A kind of stillness, a spaciousness. There's nothing crowded here, nothing competing for your attention. Just light, texture, and distance. That silence doesn't last all day, though. As the morning goes on, people begin to arrive. ATVs moving through the formations, exploring the landscape. It's a different kind of energy. This is public land, meant for multiple uses, and people are out here enjoying it in their own way. This is one of those places where photography is entirely about light and shadow. In the middle of the day, it can feel flat, almost harsh. But as the sun gets lower, the shapes come alive. The pinnacles start to separate from each other. Light defines one edge, shadow defines the other. You get depth, contrast, and direction. As the light drops, the desert softens. What felt stark earlier in the day starts to feel quieter, more balanced. The temperature changes, the wind shifts, and sometimes the sky comes alive as well. Lighting up with clouds that add drama and depth to the scene. The whole landscape begins to settle into something entirely different. Places like this have a way of simplifying things. There's not much here, and that's the point. Nothing extra survives in an environment like this. No excess, no distractions, just what's necessary. And when you spend time in a place like this, you start to notice how much of your own life isn't necessary either. It changes your sense of scale. Standing here, the formations feel large, but the landscape feels larger. And your place in it? Smaller. Not in a negative way, just in a way that brings things into perspective. And then, as the light disappears completely, this becomes an entirely different place again. This is where it really stands out as a photography location, because night photography needs more than just a sky. A flat landscape doesn't add much, but the pinnacles create strong foreground shapes, something to anchor the image. They give the sky context and make the scene feel complete, even in the dark. And out here, far from major city lights, the desert sky gets dark enough to reveal movement, making it an ideal place for photographing star trails. This was the first time I attempted to photograph a moonset. The moon and Venus descended together, gradually dropping behind the formations. And then another opportunity presented itself. A longtime reader of mine said it might be possible to see a SpaceX launch from this location. which seemed hard to believe given how far it is from the coast, but they gave me a website where I could find exact launch times. I checked and found one during twilight, a perfect time for photographing something bright in the sky before the darkness of night makes the contrast too high for a good exposure. I set up my gear, fully expecting to see nothing, and then there it was, a launch from the Vandenberg Space Force Base, visible from here. One of the most unexpected moments I've had photographing this place. Not only for the SpaceX launch, but I managed to get the Moon and Venus in the frame too. It was a most memorable night of photography for me, and I want to thank my friend Paul for letting me know about this opportunity that I would not have known about otherwise. By the time the stars fully take over, the landscape feels almost unrecognizable. The shapes are still there, but they fade into silhouette. Now it's the sky. Time slows down, and the place settles into its final form for the night. If you'd like to learn more about how I approach photographing places like this, you'll find tips on composition, camera techniques, and using natural light in my eBooks, The Compelling Photograph Books 1 and 2. There's a link in the description below. If you have any favorite photography locations in the desert, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.